Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Training by Serve Extra. Today we have a viewer submitted request. It's from Mike McHugh, 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning in California. Let me read to you what Mike writes. I would love if you would give some advice on call retention. We're having a lot of calls come in and schedule visits, but they either forget or have something unexpected and then cancel before we get into the house. What are some of the subtle nuances to call taking that you think we could implement? That's a great question. And having been a business owner and experiencing this exact circumstance, I understand where you're coming from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover 3 points that should help you today. Let's begin with point number 1, the strength of the book call. Now, how I mean by that is this. Depending upon how your organization is set up, you may be promoting your CSRs to book as many calls as they possibly can, and that's a good thing. But it has to be something that's monitored, because what we have found is that when a CSR is incentivized to book a call however they can, and it's not being checked on the back end to make sure that the call was booked in the appropriate manner, then they may be turning in requests for commissions based off calls booked, and those calls could have been very weak in the beginning. And the way that they booked them with the homeowner was a very non-committal process that says something along the lines of, let me just put you down, and if you change your mind, you can cancel at any point in time. Now, one of the things that will determine the strength of that call is, are they being trained properly, and is anyone holding them accountable to the things that they're supposed to do? So number 1, consider the strength of the call book. Number 2, the book date of the call versus the actual service date. Now, this ties in a little bit to what we covered in number 1, but to be very specific, what it's referring to is a call comes in, a customer's really genuinely interested, so they want to go through the process of booking a call with you. They do that and then realize they need to look at their calendar because they have several things coming up. So they book 2 or 3 weeks out. Well, in many cases, what happens at that point in time is that they simply forget about it. And when they are called to be reminded of that call, something has come up, or they just forgot and they don't have time in their schedule, or they just don't want to make time in their schedule. So here's a rule of thumb. If you book a call early in the week, and that call is, say, on Monday, and you're going to run that service call on Friday, it's a really smart piece of advice to call that customer on Wednesday, at the latest Thursday, to make sure that they do recall that call, and we're going to talk about how you remind them of that later. Now, if you book a call way in advance, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to share with you there's a very large likelihood that you're going to lose that call. The key to your success in that case is going to be to call often and call before the weekend. So they may get a call every week, actually. Now, you might run the figure of offending that customer, but I doubt it. I'd be more concerned about losing that call. So the service book date versus the actual day that the service call is going to be ran. Here's number 3, confirmation of the call. Going back to what we were talking about just a moment ago, how are your CSRs confirming the call? It's very important, because if we use the wrong words when we're talking to the homeowner, they can actually hear it as an invitation and a reason to cancel. If your people called and they didn't have a sense of urgency in their voice, and if they called and they kind of made it sound like, we're calling to make sure that you are going to be available, well, it'd be very easy for the homeowner to say, of course, I'm not available, so can we reschedule? Instead, when your CSRs are calling to confirm these calls, have a sense of urgency. Teach them to get off the phone quickly, basically. And when they're confirming the call, they're calling to remind that client that they have a call booked for them tomorrow or the next day, and that they're looking forward to serving them. No language of any kind should possibly suggest that it's okay to cancel. They've already got the call booked, and, well, we need to go to it. So that's number 3, is to make sure that when they are confirming these calls, they're using the right words. And by the way, confirm is one of the words I wouldn't use. Use remind, and remember to have a sense of urgency in that call. Now let's address the last thing. And the last thing is, how are you treating customers who are on the books for things like maintenance? Because this usually happens with maintenance customers, people with scheduled service plans, or people who just want a tune-up. This doesn't usually happen with repair calls or replacement calls because, well, let's face it, you're hot and you're excited about going out to that call that they're hot and excited about. So you usually push those to the front. Now that's okay. That's actually smart dispatching, and that's one of the things that you want to do. But I'll warn you is that when you often push a customer who was scheduled for a tune-up, you have a likelihood of losing that customer, and for obvious reasons. Many of these people took time off from work. They're here to visit with you, and it's inconvenient for them to reschedule more time off work, and it costs them money. Now, one of the things that I would share with you is this. Chances are that tune-up that you were going to do, that you were going to charge $49, $59, whatever the dollar amount is that you were going to charge for that tune-up, is going to be far less of a cost than what it actually took you to acquire that client. So my suggestion to you is that if you have to move a maintenance customer for a higher money opportunity, then why don't you give them something that will make them want to have you come back? Say, for the sake of example, give the call for free. That'd probably get them back, wouldn't it? All right, great. So that question was for Mike. Mike, that's a great question. I hope this helped you today. Guys, we're going to ask that you will please leave your comments, please rate the video, and please subscribe. It's going to be very important to see how we're doing out here today. This is Todd Liles representing Service Excellence Training on Serve Extra YouTube video, and you've just been served a little bit extra.